Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear from our host, Andy Albright.
All right. Thank y'all. Grab a seat. We're going to talk about recruiting studs, not duds. From here on out, we're just going to get lucky and find the right people. So that is the truth. That's what we want to do. We want to get lucky and get all great people. Owen. So we do this call every Wednesday. We call it TWC, the Wednesday Call. And we talk about subjects that are pertinent, what's happening in the country, where the meetings are coming up, who's are the leaders, who's kicking butt, taking names. And I do as much teaching on analogies of how it works. Today, I've got 3 guests. Is that right? Chang, who did I get? Chang, Mark, and Mary. So if you guys would come on up here, we will get to know these folks. Give them a hand. Chang, Mary, and Mark. So if you would, Mary, kick it off. Just tell them who you are and how long you've been working here and what your job is, in your opinion.
Hey guys, my name's Mary. I am from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and I am in the recruiting department. I've been here for about 8 months now, and all of my recruits go to Spencer Albright's team.
Yeah. Are you, do you physically live in Chapel Hill area?
No, sir. I live in Mebane.
Let's say Mebane from now on.
Mebane. I'm from Mebane.
No offense to the Tar Heels. I just get depressed when I think about that place.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not. It's a personal problem. I've got issues.
Yeah.
Since you live in Mebane. Mebane. If you ain't from here, it's called Mebane. If you live here, it's called Mebane. You got to do your head to Mebane. Mebane. I got right there. Mm-hmm. Right? Is that what they say over there in Mebane?
Yes, sir.
Good job holding the mic up. Give it to Mark. Let's see how he does.
All right.
Give it a shot, Mark.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Just kidding.
Loud and clear.
As Mark Burrows out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. My wife and I are from there. I live there, and then we're directed Jake and Bill Krause. Been here about 4.5 years with the Alliance.
Yeah. Doing estate planning,
Loving
recruiting, building,
estate planning,
getting some
building.
success.
Sir.
Same.
Yes, sir. Ryan Chang out of Las Vegas, part of the Fitz Group. I've been with the Alliance for 2 years, and now we're just massively building, selling, and recruiting. It just had a chance to come to Andy Albright's Leadership Cabin. Super amazing. Ready to learn, ready to rock and roll.
Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Owen. No? What's your name? Owen. You are Owen. And Jake. Jay.
Like you're chasing a car.
Do we know? Have we met? Okay. I just thought maybe you were, since you were Owen, maybe I'd met you. Good to meet you. Andy Albright. All right. So, that we should tell that story about recruiting, finding studs, not duds. So, we've been out the cabin, having a blast. Maybe this is not worth noting to the world, but I'm going to note it. Like, yeah, I think about like when Moses was taking the Jewish people to the promised land, and the milk and honey and animals were everywhere, right? It was different than nowadays, where you don't have as many animals and the grapes don't get that big. You know what I mean? Well, so the land of milk and honey. We went dove hunting, and this is Labor Day weekend on Monday. I haven't seen this many birds since I was 10 years old. It was unbelievable. Now you haven't done it before, but was it? I mean, of course you've been in a different kind of shooting.
Yeah, they're shooting back. Luckily, these weren't. No, I was here last year for the dove hunt.
He's a wartime helicopter pilot, active. You know, where real shooting. They shoot. But this was fun.
Incredible. Last year I was here, it wasn't like that at all.
No, I think last year we killed 35 or 45. We killed 165. It was war. It was birds. They were everywhere, just coming in. Okay, so that don't matter. It don't matter except for It's my job. How'd you like to have a job getting paid? Now, you don't want to get a job being paid in my opinion, as a scout or a professional hunter, because they work a lot. I was hunting and everything was prepared ahead of time by Blair and Jose, and all kinds of stuff was set up out there, just perfectly set up. So we had a good time. Mary was not out there for the shooting, but the two guys were there and some other guys. And what we talked about is what I want to talk to you about is you're building a team. And the team you build is based on the quality of people that you have on your team. So if you had a lot of studs, not duds, you're going to win more. Was you part of that U16 championship, national championship team? What'd you play? What was your position? Center. So my son Spencer was on a national championship, kids playing hockey up in Michigan, and Owen was on the team, not recruited by Spencer, but recruited by Marcus. But what happened is this coach, I'm not going to try to name the coach, but he picked kids. And like Spencer had to drive like an hour and 20 minutes to practice. Not good. And Spencer couldn't drive because he's under 16 years old, which means I have to do it or Jane do it, which means Jane did it. I ain't doing that. It's cold. And it's cold outside, and you go inside, and it's cold inside there too because they got ice. Right. You're sitting on ice and stuff. But that guy put together a team that got momentum, and they won a national championship. And they shouldn't have won. They didn't have the players, but apparently they had the players because they won. So you build a team in this business, and you start scoring points. So a point in this business will be sales, right? You're putting together a team, and each person on a hockey team has to know the angles, because if this guy is coming like this with a puck, and you go at this angle, and then he gets all the way to here before y'all collide, that's bad. If he's coming this way and you come at him and he's already got by you, that's a bad angle. So you need to peak when he's coming and when you're coming the fastest you can get to him, okay? This I know. It's an angle, all right? In football, if you're a receiver and they throw the ball and like you're defending me, and I'm the receiver trying to get it, my job is to get the ball as fast as I can get it, because if I say, oh shit, this is going to be nice, and I catch it like this, and then she is astute to that, so she takes a different angle at the ball and intercepts it for a pick six, because me was going to get the catch and get a touchdown like this, oblivious to the enemy. So even if the enemy's not there, you're supposed to catch the ball as quick as you can get the ball. You say, unless it's a bomb and nobody's around you and you're wide open, you shouldn't turn around and catch it. That's right. You are a genius football receiver. Which sometimes on my team I go like, did anybody tell their receivers these sort of things? And I'm not like a professional football player or coach or hockey, but I got sense enough to know angles. Why is that? Because I went to NC State. They teach angles and they teach math, okay? So if you have if you're going to have a basketball team, no offense to little people, but if you recruit 13 little people, and then I recruit tall people, and then we play basketball, you're going to get beat, okay? So let's say you recruit a people that have no personality, like they're just paint drying people. No hand movements, no smiles, no relationship. You introduce them and they don't want to shake hands because they're scared to get germs. No, I'm a germaphobe. I can't shake hands. Like, okay, how about a big old hug? You just kiss them right on the lips. You know what I'm saying? Just mess them up. So you're putting together, by the way, good job laughing. Okay, so the other jobs suck. All right, so you're building a team, okay? So I got the Craps book, okay? I want to show you how this works. Could you slide this away a little bit? And I'm a statistics guy. I took a lot of statistics and all the math thing. You start with a big pile of money at the poker table, and you might go up and you might go down. You might go up, you might go down. But let me tell you how they got those big buildings. That's where you're going to end up. So why do you do it? Because of this right here. If I get involved and get up 10, 15,000 and then stop and then go do something else. Woohoo! Because many times I've got in and I come out strong betting and it goes like this. And I go like, I got to stop and go do something else. But I don't have extra cash. You see what I'm saying? Like this is like, let's say I start with usually $50,000. That $50,000 could turn into $65,000 or $75,000 or $80,000 like that. Or it can turn it into $25,000. You with me? Or zero, which that's happened too. You know? So with insurance, here's the way it's going to start. If you don't have much money, or you got a little bit of money, or you negative money, your business is going to go like this. Okay, you with me? And you're eventually going to make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Cannot fail. You go, like, there's exceptions to every rule. I go, show it to me. First of all, I'm not an exception. I'm just a standard 5'11.5" white boy. I'm about as standard as you can get. I'm not exception. I'm not 6'5", blonde hair, blue eyes, can talk a dadgum Eskimo into coming down to Florida. You know, that's not me. I'm just standard. So, and I've seen less than standard people, less degrees, make millions of dollars with us because they didn't quit. If you gamble and don't quit, you're gonna lose it all. That's how they get it. How's that work? It's mathematical, positive, can't fail formula. Okay? So it's odds. So I'm always an odds person. This, by the way, we talk a lot about this at the cabin. So how much of a statistical. We did talk about my intentionality. Yep. Okay? So you come up to the crap table. If you hadn't ever played, y'all play craps? Vegas? Okay. You play craps in Vegas, you have a good time. Diane Lampy and others are planning a meeting in Vegas. What is the dates, Patrick? September 13th, like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. boot camp. You're not going to be there because you're going to be in Taiwan.
Yes, sir.
Facts?
Facts.
Okay, so, but you got your team's going to be there.
Yep.
Okay. Osuna's coming down from Reno. Patrick's coming out from Burlington. And they may or may not play craps. If I'm there, we probably play craps. I hadn't decided if I'm going to make it or not. I keep getting these nice notes from my friends out there going, and they send me pictures of the dice rolling and, you know, the lights and stuff. I'm like,
Tempting. Tempting.
It's tempting, and I might go. I can't decide. All right. So when you go, there's rules. This is as complicated as snot rules to play. This is called beat the crap tables. That's where you win. You go like, so you ultimately going to win with this? You're going to lose. You're going to lose, instead of losing like this, you're going to lose like this. Can you see that eventually that's going to go to zero? It'll make your money last longer. Now, it is the weirdest thing, a thing called momentum that you can't see. I don't think it's real in Vegas. I don't think you can really get momentum like we start hitting numbers and then everybody's winning. I don't think it's real except for this. That the pit boss, he'll be like, and what that means is you, the one that's doing the dealing, get the puck out of there, get out of there, and put another person in here. And while that's happening, it seems to cool down the table. It just, I mean, you be winning. And then they bring in a new person, and you're like, what? And they always do this, and they get ready to leave. They go, good luck. And I'm like, stay here. And like sometimes we'll be like, don't take our dealer, because we're just winning. You know what I mean? Just winning. It's momentum. Okay? Now, if you walk up to the table and everybody said, it is cold, that means don't bet. If everybody go, it's hot. Some winners and go to. So what we'll do, I was like, Patrick, you get over here. Mary, you get over here. And we get surrounded and we get everybody thinking, like with, all right, if we number 4, everybody like, think 4. Think 4, 4, 4. And if somebody's like chatting, we'll be like, hey, no chit-chatting, turn around and help us think 4. For all my Chinese numbers guys. No offense to the Taiwanese. You know what I mean? We're thinking 4. Hit 4. Can't see. Okay. 4. Come over just a little. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so, how does that relate to this? All right. If you're talking to the wrong people all the time, and that's the person that gets in your business, then you're going to lose. If you're talking to the right people and they get in your business, you're going to win. This can't be that simple. All right, let's talk about the teams that are making millions of dollars, and let's talk about the personalities, the Terry and Tia Edwards, the Olga Mathis, the Franks, you know what I mean? Sabrina and Martin, like the personalities, they just drive like crazy, talking, laughing, cutting up. Not doldrum people. You want me to start naming the doldrum people in our company? No, you don't want to do that. Just wave at them and say, "What's up? You're a winner. You're a winner." But when it comes to putting the money down, you got to put the money down on the stud. You with me? But how do you know what numbers are going to win? You don't know what numbers are going to win, but there's mathematical odds on a 6 and an 8 and a 5 and a 4. You with me? There's odds on it, and it's more odds that you hit the 8, but they pay less. The reason they pay less is because they know it's going to hit more. It's weird. And then they've got this thing called the field, and you can put your money on the field. A lot of people call it a sucker bet. And sure enough, you'd be sitting there, sucker just winning like crazy, and you're going like, the sucker bet's working pretty good. Because it means they're going to take all your money, but sometimes it hits. Okay? There's so many things that are analogies to it. One of the things is called odds. Do you want the odds? So you put your money down, they said, do you want the odds? And I always teach people, max the odds. So what happens is, you're betting on Mark. So now I've got to put the odds on Mark, meaning I've talked to him, I'm nice to him, but now I'm going to text him every once in a while and say, how are you doing? What's up? That costs money for me to text you. Because time is money, and if I take a minute to text you, I've just invested. So like by me saying Owen and then going meeting Chase, that takes a second away from y'all because I wanted to invest. You go, that's not an investment. I go like, what is it? A waste? Is that what you call it? Speaking, you see what I'm saying? But people don't hear it as critical that I really do believe that my time is money. So if instead I put it in Kendall or Alex, then it's not this, then I put a bet there. You're tracking on this. So but when you put it in odds, so let's say I put $1,000 that they're going to hit an 8. They're rolling dice, which is gambling, which is bad in some religions and bad with some parents and bad with some, I don't know about AA people, what they think about gambling, but if they tell them don't gamble or drink anymore, I'll be like, you're taking everything from them. Are they allowed to do? What can they do? I don't know. I don't know everybody's rules, Jehovah's and what do you call them? I like them non-denominational. They don't seem to have no rules. You know what I'm saying? They just Jesus and then do anything. Like, no offense, but it's what it seems like. Just for me looking in, being a little redneck looking in, I usually have good music too. That's a plus. They like to shake it. Ain't none of this. Woo, 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 woo. They be like getting down. Okay. I always like to try to offend everybody equally. That way, no one group can gang up on me. I like, what about them? They should be mad too. All right. It's just straight up Pellegrino too. Ain't nothing in there. All right. So you put down an 8, put out $1,000. You might have to put $5,000 behind $1,000. Now you bet $6,000. They're going to roll an 8 before they roll a 7. And if somebody says, "What are we not supposed to roll?" I'll be like, take my money. You know what I mean? Because I don't need you thinking about what we don't need. Mm-hmm. I need you thinking about what we do need. Right. They go, we don't roll a 7, right? 7, like. As soon as he says it, they roll. It seems weird, almost like there's spooky spirits controlling it. I kind of know it ain't true, but you ought to come with me. It's crazy to watch.
Happens.
It happens.
It happens at the tables.
Jessica that does our social media, one time we sat down, we call it, a nice way to put it is a first-time roller. We have other words for it. So we said, she ain't never rolled before. This ought to be good. And she started throwing them dice out, and I'm betting like crazy. I think, how much did I give you, a quarter or $100? I gave her a quarter. And how much did you turn it into? $500. I gave her a quarter. A quarter is $25. They're really smart, okay? You put a quarter down, it's $25. Right, so I didn't give her a quarter, I gave her $25. They call it a quarter, that way you don't think of it as losing real money. If you lose a quarter, you ain't mad. So when I put down, when I say $1,000, I say $1,000, but they go, five 100, 5 100s, you know what I mean? Or I guess it'd be 10 100s, or two $500 chips. Just two little bitty chips that are worth $500 each, so $1,000 bet. And then back it up, maybe with a purple chip, which is a $5,000 chip. You do not say the wrong number, or I'm gonna kill somebody in Vegas tonight. You watch a lot of CSI Las Vegas? We're getting ready to have one. You know what I'm talking about? All right, so he rolls a 4, rolls a 10. Those numbers are not bad. It means nothing, except for we're rolling numbers. So now I'll be thinking, maybe I ought to put some money on a 6. Now I get to roll a 6 or 8 before a 7 comes out. You with me? I might have to go to Vegas. Get my credit lined up. Okay, so then you got to put $5,000 behind that. So now you're sitting here rolling $11,000, hoping they don't roll. If y'all don't know the game, y'all don't know what number I'm thinking, and we ain't supposed to roll because I don't want nobody to say it. I don't even want to say it now. But if they rolled that number, whatever that number is, they just wipe out everything. It's terrible. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you will do this, and you will do this, your trajectory in the insurance business will move up, and you'll make millions faster. Okay? If you follow this rule, you'll lose slower. You go, why do you play craps? You're going to lose. I just keep thinking I can beat the odds. I've beat it once. In the business, nobody expected me to become a multimillionaire and have all this stuff. Nobody expected that. So I beat the odds, but beat the odds with this. The problem is I'm a mathematical genius, meaning the math, you can't beat it. So there's statistics and odds, and they give you a spread. You know this, all of this when I'm speaking? Okay, so the odds is way higher that if you look at a dice, it's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so a 1 and a 1 is 2. How many different ways can you roll a 2? 1. So what's the odds of rolling a 2? Slim to none. You with me? But then when you look at, you say, what about a 3? You could have a 1 and a 2 or a 2 and a 1. So there's like 4 different ways to win it. And then you do a 4, and the odds, there's the most odds that they're going to roll that ugly number. I don't want to say the number, but if you can do the math, you can do a 2 and a 5, a 3 and a 4, a 6 and a 1, a 4 and a 4. No, a 4 and a 4, a 4 and a 3. It's kind of like the green glass door. What combination won't kill us? What will go through the green glass door, and what won't go through the green glass door? You know what I mean? Or what is C is. You know the rule. So once you know the rules don't change. The C is game don't change. If y'all don't know what C is, talk to your manager. Say, what is a C is game, and what is it? Does it really matter? So once you know the rules, so what happens is the highest is 6 and 8, and then the next highest is the bad number. Okay. The crazy thing, I'm not trying to do this a craps lesson. I'm trying to get you to understand it's just math and understanding the numbers. Okay? Building a business is just math and understanding the numbers, Kendall. You with me? So tell them, what you can share that's not going to get you in trouble about your military career. Just tell them some of the stuff that you did, what wars you fought in, and I don't want to ask the wrong questions, so you just talk to me about it.
That's fine. Yeah, I started out in the Navy. I did 8 years in the Navy. Flew on any submarine warfare planes that I wanted to fly, so I switched to the Army. Flew helicopters as
Wait a
well.
minute, I didn't understand. You didn't want to fly submarines?
No. I wanted to fly, but I couldn't do it in the Navy.
Oh.
So I switched to the Army. So
They don't
I
have
could
so much
fly.
flyers in the Navy.
Well, you got to be an officer. To be an officer, you have to have a college degree. I didn't have a college degree yet.
See, he figured that out. So you made 8 years, but
Yeah. I'm not the fastest learner, but I learned.
you steady.
Yeah.
So what'd you do in the Navy? Do anything crazy there?
I did all the fun stuff. Went to all the Sicily, Iceland. Just going around.
Were you a sub or?
No, I was on
ship?
a plane with hunt subs. So I was on a P-3 Orion. So we just went around looking for bad guy submarines.
All right. What'd you do there?
Then I switched to the Army so I could fly. And then in the Navy, I went to all the really cool ports like Greece. And in the Army, I went to all the places in Stan, Pakistan.
Anything that stand on the end.
You're right, anything with stand
Yeah,
on the end.
stand on the end. They got good goats if you're going hunting, but if you're going to war,
Right.
if you're going to war, stand is not a good place to go.
Really hot, sandy, those kind of places. That's why they're all mad at
Smell
each other. 'cause
a
it's
little different
really
too.
hot over there. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's interesting over there.
So I went to Iraq twice, Afghanistan twice. Did that for 23 years total. And then when I retired.
When did you get married in that? You married before you started the military and during the Navy? When did you get married?
No, I met Nicole actually in flight school, Army flight school in Alabama. She was a maid of honor, and I was in a friend's wedding, and we just met at the wedding.
Okay, but tell us some of the wars like that we won and you dominated.
Yeah, so
And can you say behind the lines and
yeah,
machine guns,
like
shoot them
right
and
there.
stuff, shoot them up?
Yeah, so 2 Iraqs, 2 Afghanistans, got shot down in 2007. That was all over the news. If you come to conference, we'll be talking about it, so you can hear all about it in depth.
Oh, you want to talk about it?
That's right.
That's what
You want to tell that story?
Yep.
He's the kind of guy, if you can get him like not around, not on the video and not in front of this many people, just 2 or 3 people, definitely some bourbon involved. You know what I'm saying? That Marvin Rangers light of bourbon. It's just the craziest story to hear how he got shot. I mean, you understand, flying through the air. Oh, shit.
That's exactly how it went.
David Bragg's the only person who could tell it better.
Oh my gosh. David.
My boy tell a story. But yes,
You can tell a story.
he was with us at the cabin as an inside joke, but he wanted to tell a story.
He should write my book for me.
He said, great idea. So, I mean, but you think about it. So if you meet this guy and you're talking to him, are you thinking he's going to be a chicken, scared to call people, scared to go to the house? You think that? I'm thinking he ain't scared of nothing. He's probably packing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had girls come in and go like, "Hey, I'm scared to go in the house." I said, "Get carry, concealed weapon, carry." And they go, "You want me to get a gun?" I said, "No, I want you to not be scared. You could just not be scared. That'll work. But I just figured if you had a pistol in your pocket, maybe you feel more comfortable." You know what I'm saying? It's like that grandma. You know about that grandma got pulled by the officer, right? Everybody knows about her, right? He pulls her over and she said, "Officer, I just want to let you know I'm packing." He said, "What do you got?" She said, "I got a 45 in the glove compartment over there." He said, "You got a 45 in the glove compartment?" She said, "Yeah." He said, "What else?" She said, "I got a 9mm under my seat. I got an extra large clip on it." He said, "Anything else?" She said, "I got a Derringer in my pocket." So you got a little Derringer. She said, "A little Derringer. You don't see it?" He said, "No, I'm good." He said, "Anything else?" She said, "Behind the back, I got a, what them, not machine gun, they're semi-automatic. What do y'all, AR-15. AR-15 on her seat." She said, "Ma'am, if you don't mind me asking, what are you scared of?" She said, "I ain't scared of shit." So if girls start crying to me, I get a gun. How you know? That's what this old woman said. She was scared. So, you go like, well, should you be scared to go in the house? No, you should have faith. God's going to protect you, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? The armor protection. How about they think you crazier than they are? You know what I mean? I don't know. Some people scared, some people ain't. So I'm just looking for people, like if you're playing basketball, you got a guy that says like, "I ain't never caught a foul in my life." I said, "You ain't never fouled nobody? You can't play on my team. They give you 5 fouls for a reason. You get to use them. If you don't use the fouls," and by the way, don't be fouling like this. You know what I mean? If you want to foul them, you give them go up for the ball and just get that elbow right up in the jaw. You know what I'm saying? Like, foul! Foul! You'd be like, "Yeah, I did it. I got 3 more before you kick me out too." You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You're not trying to grit some guy that don't understand the rules. This is a philosophy. the way you think. You get a guy that don't think like that, you're going to have a problem. Because you're like, why didn't you foul? He said, my mama told me. Well, first of all, a guy brings up his mama right off and you're talking about how to play basketball. You're just like, this is not going to do good. You know what I mean? Like, you're building a God-blessed team. So you're really interviewing. It's like when I come up to the table, how's the table look? And also I look around and see the table, how the table looks. You know, I see smart people around the table, sharp dressed people at the table. I'm like, we're getting ready to do something. And if the table look like a lot of bums, I'm like, I ain't messing with these people. And people like Chris Revis, I ain't gonna tell you everything, but Chris Revis, he was good at picking a table. He'd be like, I see a table. I said, all right, let's go. I didn't say, well, let me check it out, because I knew there was gonna be a table. It was gonna be on fire. You know what I mean? like he used to work here. He's my buddy. And so when I'm interviewing, I'm looking at him. You know what I mean? And I ask him, military, where'd you go to school? So I'm interviewing as much as I'm trying to convince them to get in the business and convince them that they can sell and convince them to invest in their self and come to seminars and stuff. It just, like, so like if you're one of those people that have joined us, you're scared to go to seminars, you're scared of people, you're scared to talk, you're scared to move your hands, you're scared to have facial movement, I love you. Do it. Change the personality. People say you can't do that. I got a book called Personality is Not Permanent, right? Personality is not permanent. I don't want to change my personality. Facts. So like if you're going to come on a basketball team and you dribble all the time, don't ever pass it. That's your personality. It's called a ball hog. I go, on our team, we pass. You go, I'm not changing. I said, then get your tail back, which is a football term that you use to a basketball player. You get your tail back on the bench. Does that make sense? And then you find somebody else, you got to go. You can have a scholarship, you got to go. They got rules that I don't like, but that's the point. You got to get rid of it. You with me? You tracking with me? Stephanie, would you get me a little napkin? I don't need a big napkin. It's a little napkin. All right. All right. Tell them a little bit about your education, where you was born and raised, and how many languages you speak, and give me a resume.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Taipei, Taiwan, and as a young boy, I watched a lot of American movies, of course. So fascinated about America, just dreaming about coming to America, about the American dream. So at 14, I was able to come to America, and I started in Muskogee, Oklahoma, of all places. That's where I grew up.
That's exactly where a guy from Taipei, Taiwan should move, is Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Right. The place that has
a fish out of water.
Yeah, more cows and horses and hays than people, I think.
How many people from Taipei?
Gosh, like lots of people.
In Oklahoma?
Not many, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Not many.
Did you know any when you were there in school? Was there any Taipei people?
Nobody. I think the whole school there might be 3 Asians, 5 blacks, and a few Mexicans, and everybody white. So that was the dynamic.
It ain't changed a lot.
Yeah.
It's changed some. When did you graduate from there?
So graduated high school 2009, went to University of Oklahoma, graduated in 2012, and then stayed there for about 3 years working, and then 2015 moved out to California for more opportunity, and that's when I started a financial service business in Orange County, California.
So I meet him. Do you remember the first time we met? You have any idea?
We met at my first convention. It was Family Reunion 2023, Miami, Florida.
Right, 2,000 people walking around. People walking around, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm looking at his shoes, and I'm like, shoes like that? I bet that boy could do it. Show him them shoes like that. I bet he could do it. People say, you ain't going to judge somebody based on shoes, are you? Like, yeah, what do you do? What do you judge it based on? The words out of their mouth? My mama used to say about one of her sisters, they called her lilac. I thought they was talking about a flower. They said she lied like a dog. They call her lilac. She tell you how bad she wanted to do it. She tell you all kinds of stuff. She lying. You look at her shoes. Shoes don't lie. Huh? Put that mic back up there. Tell them what you just said.
That's what Forrest Gump says. You tell a lot about people by the shoes they wear.
Did Forrest Gump... Look at this. That's called cold chills right there, baby. I didn't even know Forrest Gump said that. But it makes sense that Forrest Gump said that.
Yeah.
Tell a lot about what people say. Now, as everybody's like, I can see everybody like, I can see everybody doing that, you know. Let me tell you what. You can't win with them shoes. You can't win. You know what I'm talking about? As Ric Flair said, 195 pound twisted steel and sex appeal. Trying to hold these ostrich skins down. You know what I mean? Listen, there's business people out there that are making fun of me, laughing, turn the show off. I don't care. I don't need a businessman that can't build a business. You work for another man that built a business. Good thing he gave you a job. I hope he hung on for at least that part. You know what I'm saying? Some crazy lunatic like me built a business. And now you work there making yourself $116,000. Think you somebody to laugh at me. If I don't make $116,000 a week, I ain't gonna be able to pay my taxes. You know what I'm saying? I can't even come close. You know, and money and everything. I know laughing is very important. That's why we put have fun first and money number 2. You say, where you put Jesus? Jesus is there. I ain't got nothing to do with him. He's in charge of everything. Or God, or whoever you pick. But I'm just telling you, I ain't telling Buddha where he belongs. Like if you're a big Buddha guy, you didn't even talk about Buddha's name. You just said fun and money. You didn't bring up Bud. Like Bud, I don't know. He's in charge, you know. They got a philosophy out there. Just follow the philosophy and you do your thing. But our plan is to have fun and make money. That makes sense. But people make fun like, you do not look at their shoes. Yes, God, I do. And their watch. I look at their watch. If they don't have a watch, I go, you know what I have to watch. I can't judge it, you know. Tattoos. You know, I'm looking for tattoos. What's your tattoo mean? You know? God. I like it when people go like, you are not censored. And I go, Lord, have mercy. I'm censored, all right. Because I didn't say what I was thinking about 90% of the time. I'm telling you what I can think. This is the censored version. So, and then like, you know, I'll be like, if I see a visible tattoo, I know he's telling me about one he's got, because it's the same August 28th, and I got my name on the scoreboard. August 28th when he almost got killed and run over as a young kid, you know, and so he's got that tattoo on him. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. Because if I saw it, if it was a swimming pool and I saw it on his back, I'd bet, what's up with August 28th? Now, you also said that number's got power to it too, right?
Yeah, so the power of 28 is really a lot of really wealthy and successful people were known. They were born on the 28th.
I'm going to start betting 2 and 8 if I go to Vegas.
So August 28th, that was real cool. But back to what you're saying, like people are looking for things when it comes to recruiting. I remember in college, the FBI came to the university and we were still in Afghanistan at the time. So I was there trying to, you know, see what the FBI wanted. So at the end of the conversation, I got picked. And then another girl that speaks Farsi, like Middle Eastern, we got picked. So they wanted us, recruiting us to do translation for them because I speak Mandarin. So they know what they're looking for.
Where's Farsi from? Where's that?
Just, you know, Afghanistan, Pakistan, around that area.
Stand?
Oh, yeah.
One of the stands.
One of the stands.
One of the stands, okay. All right. Y'all tracking with me on this? So look at the belt. Yeah, Alan Taylor, he's a big-time NC State guy. I call him advancement. He's the kind of guy that sucks up to people and tries to get millions of dollars, and he's got millions and millions from me. But he's just wanting to become a good friend because he can get me in anything at NC State. You know what I mean? Like he can get me here. And he likes to shoot, so he come out there. It was funny because one of the first things he said is like, that belt's badass. And I was like, you damn right it is. You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't want to show up in an ugly belt. You know what I mean? And the shirt and the watch and the glasses and the haircut, everything. You say, but if you're a basketball coach, you don't look at everything. Because I see some of these guys have these hairdos that look odd. Hairdos are not as important playing basketball as they are in business. It's just like being tall. You can have a short guy make money in this. In basketball, it's possible. You got Spud Webb, Bugsy Malone, and I'm sure, you know, it's old people. I'm sure there's some young people that are 5'7", 5'6", that have done good. You know what I mean? But not many times. But I mean, they got to be flat. They got to make up for it. So you're saying a guy comes in dressed like a bum. One time I was at a meeting and a guy was sitting on the front row. I kept looking at him. I said, "Sure, ain't got but one shoe on." Adam Katz invited him. And so finally I had to ask him. I said, "Did you lose the shoe?" He said, "No, I was on the way over here and I found one." Don't make no sense at all right there. I told Adam, I said, you need to upgrade the quality of people you're bringing on, buddy. He said, I'm trying, man. I'm trying, boss, man. And Adam's probably going like, he's telling me his name. He probably texts me his name, who it was. You know? So, but how do you know if you're on the phone? You can't look at her shoes, you can't look at her face, can't see if they're crying, see if it happened. Well, you know, ask questions about them, like what kind of history? Are you military, education, where'd you go to school? So I'm trying to remember interviewing Mary, but give them your resume. She's younger than these, so a different resume. But
Yep. So I went to UNC Greensboro and got my bachelor's in communications. And then immediately after that, I went into recruiting. I started recruiting for engineers, so placing them at Tesla, Microsoft, kind of the higher companies. And then I got into a little bit of the company's internal recruiting, so the actual positions like HR, all of that good stuff. And then I found the Alliance.
what was the name of that group?
We were called Triple Crown Consulting.
Okay. Now, if I'm interviewing her truly, and I don't know why she left that other job, then because I don't want to ask her in front of y'all, or if I'm sitting down at my office, and I ask her and she starts crying, you with me? I risk that. Does that make sense? Or she might say, well, I have a legal situation going on with them. I might say something like, and what kind of legal, you know what I'm saying? You're like, why would you ask that? I have a propensity to avoid illegal situations. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like you would not like it, it depends on what it is. You know what I mean? So like I'm trying to see, is this, and by the way, she works here. So we pay her a salary and she sells. You know what I mean? And stuff. These guys are commission only, but either way, you're building a team, you know? And I look at her shoes, and I look at her belt, and I look at her watch, and I look at her hair. You know, I'm thinking, yes, no, fit, no, maybe, you know, and I'm asking these questions. Did they fire you, or did you fire them, or did they close, or did the guy retire?
I technically fired them.
How'd that happen?
I left.
You did?
Yep, I left.
They quit paying you when you left?
They did.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of companies are like that.
Yeah.
Did you have this job before you quit, or did you quit and then find this job?
I quit and then found this job within the same week.
Within the same week?
Mm-hmm.
Were you mad when you quit, or just had it?
No, it just wasn't challenging enough, so I just had kind of had it.
Okay, so I could keep pushing that more. I'm not going to do it in front of everybody, but I'm sure I did push. You with me? Because I want to know what happened. And where did you go to school?
UNC Greensboro.
So UNCG, highly respected around here. My wife went there. Who else? Somebody else went to UNCG. Amir. And is that Noel? Okay. And my wife went there. So UNCG in communication?
Yes, sir.
And that's what Haley majored in. Did you get any other degrees there, or just that one?
Just communications.
Okay, and I just like the way she carried herself. If y'all remember also, the last time we had a discussion about the mic being held up to her mic, which obviously Mark didn't pay attention to that call, but...
I had mine up the whole time, Andy, before you took it.
You didn't have the mic, what'd you say?
I have my mic the whole time up, the whole time before you took it.
What do you say about that?
I think I need to go back and watch that call.
All right, so he's the Ranger guy. He's not going to cry if I pick on him about the mic. And you just really, if you ever watch Preacher, and I don't need a mic, but they just hold it the whole time if they're interviewing, so they're ready, so they don't accidentally start talking like you've done 3 times with a mic down here, at least 3.
Okay.
I feel like I'm being generous. Now, what they say if you read these books is never criticize in public. Always criticize in public, in private. What was that guy's name that coached at Indiana, and he got so mad he threw a chair across Bobby Knight? Very successful. You with me? Very successful. He would criticize when he started walking in the room. He would just start talking trash. You think Trump talked trash to reporters? You should have heard Bobby Knight talk to reporters. He'd be like, "You stupid people can't play basketball. You asking me questions?" But he'd just be ripping them apart. And he made millions and millions in coaching basketball. You know, I mean, and he's pretty famous. So our new coach, Will Ward, is that his name? Yeah, he's the basketball. I went to practice the other day, and that joker was correcting in front of God, the public, and anybody want to listen. And he was not nice about it. He was clear and specific about it. So if you have a bunch of players that you start saying, "I told you to X, Y, Z, and God bless America, his country, and his disciples, you better God," then you don't need to work for Will. Because he expects you to do it right. But if your coach acts like just don't matter what people do, then people just do anything. You with me? You're starting to understand what I'm saying? It's like, so, but Andy, you've got people that are way, way weak, and you've got people that are way, way strong. Right, I do. But I'm not betting on numbers like, for example, snake eyes or 1-1. There's only one way it can hit. There's no other way. So it's like, when they roll it, there's another number going to pop up, not snake eyes. But if you put $100 on it, I forget they'll pay you like $600 if you hit a snake eye or something crazy. It might even be $2,000 if you just put 100 down. But if you hit an 8 and you put 100 down, they're only going to give you like 90. They only give you the 100. They give you like 90. You go like, well, why would you ever bet an 8? You want you to bet because they don't never hit the 2. That's why I bet on this one. They do hit this one, but you don't make as much money, but it does hit. You with me? So when you're talking to people, as you're talking to people, you're kind of doing the statistical odds. The odds that, like as I'm talking to her, the odds that she'll call up somebody she don't know and talk about insurance. Odds that she'll talk to her friend and say, "Hey, I found this opportunity, might come on board." And then will they listen to her? I just met a young guy he's down under Rojas. He's under you, under Rojas. And he just made his first sale. And I asked him, what's the guy's name? Davian. Davian, I hope you listen. I asked Davian, I said, "Davian, are you the kind of guy, young guy that gets involved? You just want to make $150,000, $250,000 and chill the rest of your life, just kind of do this? Or did you want to get rich, make $200,000 or $300,000 a month?" And unknowingly that he was talking to me, he said, "I want to get rich." And I go, "Oh, smell." You know what I mean? Because if they go, "I just want to do this, and I just want to make $150,000, $250,000, I go, "No problem, you'll love it." I'm not going to bet heavily on that person, because if all they do is get in and make $150,000, $200,000, then I'm just making $20,000 or $30,000 a year off of their efforts. Does that make sense? So like you got a basketball player and say, "Hey, are you kind of basketball player that likes to be all the way around, or hockey player that you can play defense, you can pass, you can shoot? Or is you just a shooter?" You're like, "I'm just a shooter, baby. Put me in when you need a goal. I'm a shooter. I'm a shooter. Don't mess with defense. I ain't worried about when other people try to score. I'm just worried about trying to score." You're like, "All right, good." You might take them because you need a shooter, but they ain't going to play them as much as the guy that says, "Coach, I'll do anything you want me to do. If they try to score, I'll take a puck in the face. If I'm going to score, I will take that goalie and I'll put him in the goal and the puck." And his mama. You like that? On my team. Does that make sense? And you go like, "Well, you want people to talk like this and fake like it and wear good clothes and stuff like." No, fake it. Be you. And then I pick. See, the more you just be you, then I can pick. Because I think the crazy kid that's going to do all that scoring and fighting and defense stuff. Hey, how about this? Kid said, "I'm a fighter too. I'll start a fight." "Oh, yeah. You can shoot and defense and fight. Oh, you on my team, my hockey team." You understand? Basketball, not so much for the fighting. But you do want them to be willing to do a legitimate foul. Not like no offense, but like a girl foul. All right, is this tying together at all? But I want to know how not to hire studs. I feel like I'm telling you, if they failed. One time, bless her heart, one of my nice ladies called me. She said, "I got a girl on I want you to talk to." And I said, she said, I really want her to be successful with this. And so I asked her, I said, what kind of work you do? And she said, well, I got my first job was at a grocery store, work about 40 hours a week. And I said, all right, what else? She said, well, I work at like a 7-Eleven. I work there 20 hours a week. I said, anything else? She said, yeah, I work for the church. I clean the church. And I said, you got kids? She says, I got 4 kids. I said, is that a husband or anybody help with the kids? She says, no, it's a really big problem because I'm having to take them to work with me. And I was like, you take them to the 7-Eleven? You ain't got in trouble? She said, well, she explained it to me. And I'm like, Lord. And then the other lady said, what do you think? I said, about what? They go, you think she can do it? And I was like, well, she can. But there's a problem. There's only 2 hours in a week. She's got 4 kids, no husband, and mama don't help with the kids. She's having to farm them out to people. And I said, hold on, let me ask a couple more questions. Do you have any money? She said, oh, no, I'm broke. Like, I got to have if I don't work at 7-Eleven this week, I ain't going to be able to make my rent payment. Oh, I got one more question. You got a car? She said, oh, no. I just walked to work. I said, I'm thinking, how are we going to win? I mean, my lady, Debbie, who's introducing me to this girl, has somehow got attached to this person and likes them a lot. And she want me to bet on them. And I done took 10 minutes of my life with this interview, right? And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to take 11 or 12. And I said, Debbie, I think you got this one. However you get her started, I think it'll work. I love you both. You're impressed. I said, whew. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I love her, and I thought you want to help everybody. I don't want to help everybody. I want to help people who want to be helped. That girl don't want to be helped. How you know? She don't have any place that I'm gonna fit into her life. You know what I mean? I call it ready, will, and able. RWA. I also call it fat. I want fat people. I like fat people. What do you mean? Faithful, available, and teachable. Faithful people don't need to argue. Like you come to me and I go, hey, put a quarter on 8. You go, put a quarter on 8. I said, put a quarter on 8. I put $1,000. There's your quarter. If you ain't got a quarter, I'll give you one. Kind of like if you ain't got an attorney, I'll appoint one for you. You know what I'm saying? If you can't afford one, here's your attorney. They usually suck, but at least you got one. A quarter ain't much, but at least you can bet. So put a quarter right there. If you go like, I don't know, I'm going to wait. I'll be like, I need faithful. Faithful people shoot. Bam, bam, bam. You with me? They have a high expectation. And they have a high expectation. If you tell them what to do, it will work. It's called faith. I'm going to get preacher man up here and talk to us about some faith. 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 What is faith? Hold on. Get this. Tell them what faith means.
Believing in what you can't see. Did you want me to stand up?
No, you just tell me from there.
Okay.
For now.
Believing in what you can't see. So faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Whoa. Now you can stand up. That's what I want to hear. Get a cold chills back. He don't have faith is hopeful. What did you say faith is what?
Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Okay, if you don't know that, you need to know that. It didn't come out of my lips like I wanted it to. That's why I went to the preacher man. Faith is the substance
of things hoped for.
Of things hoped for. Evidence unseen.
The evidence of things not seen.
The faith is. Say it again.
The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
I know that, but it ain't coming out of my mouth right. Say it again.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
All right. So if you get a faithful person, they got a high propensity that things hoped for are going to happen. Substance of things hoped for. Hope for money. Substance. The substance is the money. So faith is the substance. I feel like a preacher right now.
Come on, you got it.
I know. I can amen.
Spirit of the prophets.
Brothers,
among
where
the
you at,
prophets.
man? Talk to me now. Give me something. Give me something. Faith is the substance. The substance is the money of things hoped for. Faith is a substance of things hoped for. Evidence of things unseen. Evidence. Riri did it. I can do it. That's the evidence of things unseen. The evidence that it can happen to you is dum did it. Faith is the evidence. I'm your faith. Tell them how much money y'all made this year so far.
Oh boy, we're on track for about a little over 300. When you look at the tracker thing, but the overall, all the commissions and all that. We did 3.8 million annuities so far, roughly.
What do you make off 3.8 million? Yeah.
Just average 5%, so we just averaged it out 5%.
So tracking 5%, 3.8 million, do the math on it, close to $200,000. Then there's trail fees and all overalls. Okay. He is the evidence of things hoped for. That's your evidence. But if you're not a faithful, you don't believe in the evidence that's put right in your face. You go, how do I show you I got faith? How do we show how we got faith, preacher man?
Your actions and what you do.
What is it? And by your actions ye shall be known. Is that what it is?
By your fruit, you'll be judged. By your fruit, by what you do.
And by your fruit you shall be judged. In other words, results. You tracking with me? It's my show. Give me my mic back. You sit down and preach. I called this man up one time. I was going to be in Dallas. He lived in Denver. I wanted him to drive down Denver. He broke as a joke, man. You ought to hear him. They had Goodwill getting toys for the kids at Christmas. Stuff like you ought to hear the stories. I called him up. I said, you a man of God? He said, yeah. I said, what does the Bible say about knowledge and information? He said, you got to seek it out. I said, well, it's going to be in Dallas. How's your seeker? He said, what are you saying? I'm saying the Bible says that you got to seek out the truth. Why don't you come down to Dallas to our convention, preach a man, and show me what kind of faith you got? And if you come down there and the truth ain't there, then you can quit tomorrow. But if the truth is there, then you can commit. If the evidence of things hoped for is there, if the substance is there, then would you want to build it? Now his kids got the Gucci, got all the name brand stuff. Guy driving a Mercedes, wife driving a Lexus.
Nice shoes.
Oh.
Clean.
Oh. But say, Andy, but he was broke when you met him. But he was a preacher man. His daddy was a preacher man. And he had a pretty smart wife, Carla. Yeah, I looked at him, I said, they look smart. He looked a lot smarter with her. Facts. So I said, all right, I tell you what. I don't remember what deal. I gave him some kind of deal, like I'll pay for the $500 ticket if you can figure out how to get down there. Told me he didn't have no money on a credit card. I said, you got to talk to your wife's daddy. You got to talk to your daddy. You know, I don't care. You're going to have to figure that part out. I'll meet you halfway. I didn't birth you. I didn't go through the fun of making you. I ain't going to go through the pain of raising you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't my boy, but I'll meet you halfway. Come on down here. You with me? And he became very faithful. One of the first people to start buying $500 worth of leads a week because he had faith that 500 or 25,000 he was going to spend would make him 150,000 and he'd net 125. Does that make sense? But you don't buy leads because you have no faith. What if we start talking like that to people? We don't want to, huh?
It'd mess them up.
Well, if they're not religious, you with me? If they don't believe in God and they don't believe, see, if I ain't got an AA book up here, I don't mean Andy Albright, but they don't have an Alcoholics Anonymous book. Say, look, first thing you got to decide is there a higher power? You go, what do I mean? Like a God, like a Buddha, like a something. I don't believe in nothing. This book's not for you. Keep drinking. Try to do it in moderation and definitely don't drive. That's what they tell you. I don't ask anybody if they're in here, but you can ask them. I've read the book. That's what it says. You say, how'd it work out? I believe in God, but I don't believe in good drinking. You know what I'm saying? You do what you want to do. I like them. Tracking with me? All right, so faith, what if we said it to people? That's what, knowing where they went to school. And you go to church anywhere. I don't know if that's illegal to ask anybody to go to church anywhere. If that's illegal, ask you go to church anywhere down there in South Carolina? They go, I don't believe in it. All right. You know, just I'm interviewing. You with me? Mm-hmm. What does they say about the Army? You meet Jesus in a foxhole.
Hey, there's no atheists in a foxhole.
What's he saying? What's he mean? There's no atheists in a foxhole.
I sure as hell did.
Huh?
I sure as hell did.
When somebody's shooting at you,
That's the only one that can save you.
Isn't that crazy? That's not crazy. Andy, what is this? You've just took God craps and built an insurance business.
And alcohol.
Oh, and alcohol.
And alcohol.
All we need is a little THC, baby.
Make Colorado happy.
To my friends in Denver. Hey, y'all.
Facts.
Now you know what I wanted to say at a lot of hockey games, but I was like, didn't play hockey. You know? But I would scream at Spencer a lot. All right, so duds, not studs. So I said this, yeah. No, studs, not duds. Some of you, yeah, you get it. Studs. You're looking for studs. So here's the deal. I have heard people do this, Owen. They go, well, this list of insurance agents, I call it and all of them are dumb and won't turn texts and they ghost me. And I go, yeah, that's cool. You know, what are we going to do? So I don't know. Just keep calling until you find a good one. Then another way we do is run an ad on ZipRecruiter, or we used to have this thing called Monster. I don't know if I have it anymore. And what was the one with the monkeys? Was that Monster? Yeah. There's another. Huh? Was that? It wasn't Monsters, no. They had different ads. There's another one, Edith's House or something like that, or Edith's. Come on with me. If you want to sell something, you put it on Craigslist. Not Edith's list, but Craigslist. So you run an ad on Craigslist. People going on there looking for a swing, and they see an ad for a job. You'd be like, I was shopping for a swing, but I found a job. Craigslist. I'm not kidding. It was like $5. And people would call it like crazy because nobody else was running jobs on there. So we put it on there and wanted all the stuff. They'll read it and they call us, they get a job. So what you get is a lot of people that you're not impressed with. Does that make sense? You get people that you wouldn't leave your children with them for a night. You get people with them you wouldn't leave your dog with them for a night. You get people you don't want to have it. You know what I'm saying? You get the people that you ain't looking for. And so I had a guy complain about it. I said, all right, let's go to lunch. We go to lunch. I looked over there, young couple over there. Guy looked like Owen over there. Guy looked like a girl like Madison sitting over there. And I was like, these people look sharp. Been here for lunch. It's a nice restaurant. They paying, $13 for lunch or $22 for lunch. They ain't no Taco Bell. You know what I mean? Coming there at $2.95. You know what I mean? Get chemicals piled up, and eat them. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a decent restaurant, and I go, hey, I bet them are sharp people. Like, yeah, I bet they are too. I go, well, get your butt over there and talk to them. What am I going to say to them? Like, dude, you're 18, you're 24, you're 46. Your age, you ought to know something to say to them. Talk about their shoes. Give them a compliment. Ask them what they're eating. Does that make sense? So, okay, what I'm saying is, he's willing to call this list all day, but Madison's sitting over there and he won't go talk to Madison. Marcus and Carla sitting there in the lunch, he won't talk to them. Evidence of things hoped for. No, substance of things hoped for. Evidence of things not seen. You with me? I see him and I go like, they kind of remind me of Johnny Hodges, my cousin. They kind of remind me of Alex and Heather. That kind of reminds me of Alex and Jenny. You say, what about, what reminds them? He looks Asian. He's Avian's from Philippines. So he got that, got kind of his complexion is more like his than mine. He looks kind of like Avian. Looks like, I don't think it's Avian. It might be Avian's cousin. So I walk over and say, hey, you look familiar. You look familiar. You say, well, what else you say to them? What I always say is like, I might know you from somewhere you work around here. Like that right there. You go, why you say that? Because that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I know them where they work around here somewhere. You with me? Y'all met in a gym, right? He owned a gym. He's a gym owner. He's going around there trying to be nice to his customers. How you doing? Working out good? How you doing? Well, the preacher, man, you know, how you going to say? Can I pray for you about something? You know what I'm saying? you know what I mean? And they like, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I usually say, yeah. Because they don't like it when you say, hey, oh yeah. So you just go, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'd like for you to do that. You know what I mean? And so then they start talking. So they meet a friendship. You with me? You talk to thousands of people, these ads, somebody in the gym. Does that make, it's hard to get it's faith that something's going to happen. But also not being scared that they're going to shoot you in a Zax's hot dogs or at a nice restaurant. You think you walk up there to somebody and say hello, somebody think they're going to shoot you? The risk of embarrassment, I call it afraid or afraid. I got another Fred. He said, would you quit saying people are afraid? I go, you know what I mean. They're afraid. They're scaredy cats. They're chickens. They I don't know, scared of, what do you call it, the boogeyman? What are you scared that people are going to say to you? Well, I don't want to be rude. Well, don't be rude. Be nice. What if I don't think they look familiar? Show them to me. I tell you who they look like. I go, you know who that looks like? But we're going to make sure that's not them. The other day, just a couple other days ago, I was in, I want to come back to this. I was in Pragos, my favorite restaurant in Burlington. And this guy had a chair and see me. I was by myself. Last minute, James had to do something. I said, I'm going to get me something to eat before I go home. I go to Pragos. And I sat down, and this fellow there eating. He's by himself. I'm sure he's eating. And I look at his shoes. Look kind of, you see his belt, his shirt kind of baggy, but you know, he's eating at Pragos. He's not broke. It is the most expensive place in Burlington, unless you go to Elon or something like that. So I know he ain't broke. And I look over there and I said, that look good what he's eating. I said, is that Bill Parm? He just kept eating. I was like, he might be hard of hearing like me. You know, might have something in common. I leaned up. He looked over at me. I said, is that Bill Parm? He says, chicken parm. I said, that's good, chicken parm. Is it any good? He says, yeah, it's good. I ordered me something to eat. I didn't mess with him no more. Give me some sugar on the rim, you know. Bring me a little martini over there. A little liquid courage. Take a little shot. You know, a little shot. I think another shot of this, I'm going to get my nerve up. Ain't scared. I had a drink, but it was good. So I look at him, I said, I've been looking at you. You look so familiar, I'm trying to figure out how I know you. He said, I don't know. I don't work around here. I said, I didn't think it was around here. I'm like one of them people that you go in there and read your palm. You know what I mean? Yeah. I said, I didn't think he was around. I just knew. I was ready. When he said, I ain't from here, I said, I didn't think it was around here. I said, I'm thinking it's probably Raleigh or Greensboro. He said, I work in Raleigh. I live in Greensboro. Got it. Nailed it. Where you work? He said, I work at banking. I said, but you got to learn these questions. I said, are you client facing or are you back in the back? He said, I'm back in the back. I determine a rate. You with me? So he said, what do you do? I said, I do stuff helping people with estate planning and you know, that sort of thing, just helping people. I said, you know, my cousin got me doing this. He said, your cousin? I said, yeah, you don't know him, Russ. But you might know Russ. But even my cousin, he told me that if you took a $200,000 401k and rolled it over into an annuity for life, they pay you $10,000. He, what? I said, but you don't do stuff like that. I thought maybe if you was client facing, you'd know that, but you back in the back, you don't deal with that. He said, no, but I tell you what, my wife has friends coming to me all the time and asking me what to do with their retirement. You could recruit him at that point. Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm saying? I had to get it to that point. sitting on the bar stool chit-chatting. I got it to that point. Now, if he'd have said, I don't care nothing about nobody's 401k or nothing, so God bless you. Good for you. He could have said, good for you, Mr. Albright. But he went, my friends. You know what I mean? He one of them like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And I said, that's what we do. You have to get through this license thing. It's nothing, But anyway, so you got family? He says, yeah, they can come in here, get a wife and a daughter. And I was like, all right. And we just kept talking, and I said, so well, tell me about your friends, your wife's friends. She said, they just always asking. I said, we should connect. Let me tell you a little more about it. So I got his number, and I texted him. And you look at the interesting thing to me is, I texted him Andy Albright. Okay, I didn't say nothing else. He didn't hit me with a thumbs up. Didn't give me a heart. I didn't need that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't reply back. He silenced me. You with me? So this is on Friday at 7:11 p.m. Right? Verify that, right? All right. So Friday at 11 p.m. So I texted him Andy Albright. Well, Monday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, y'all were there.
At the cabin.
I was teaching. And I was talking about meeting people. I said, dadgummit, that Dale guy didn't reply me back. So right then, at 2:28 p.m. to him, I hit him with this. I let him hear me talk to him. I said, hey, Dale, this is Andy Albright. We met the other day at Burrows. ... I like the ... I don't know. I like the ... You style it the way you want to style it. I style it the way I want to style it. I felt like Terry Edwards when I said that. Style it the way I want to style it. Did that give me some little Terry Edwards reminiscent?
Yeah.
You were enjoying Bill Palmer. I didn't spell it right. I said, you were enjoying Bill Palmer. Chicken parm. ... Anyway, we were talking about moving 401ks, and you said your wife is constantly bringing people to you. I wanted to see if you really wanted to find out more information or if you were just being nice to me. No period. No dots. Boom! Hit send. It's 2 o'clock. 8 o'clock at night. I said, there, still ain't answering me. He done ghosted me. All right. Monday was yesterday. What was yesterday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, 1:19 p.m. Good afternoon, Andy. Hope you're having a good day. Yes, I love to learn more. That's on Tuesday. Right? What's today?
Wednesday.
Because I want to mirror and match. He took a day to reply to me. I'm going to take a day to reply to him because apparently he thinks days are acceptable to reply to Texas. I'm more of an instant sort of a demanding guy. So what do y'all think I ought to say back to him? Now, here's what I hear somebody go like, give him to me, give him to me. I go like, get your own. You know what I mean? Like what are you going to do? So here's the other thing. It's clear that I'm not worried about him, is it? So I'm not going to go and call Brian Adams or call, our prolific recruiter, Andy Riddle, say, Andy, let me show you what I got so far. Now, how do you think we should go about this? I hope Brenda will say something like, why don't you just ask him? I go, that's a good idea. Why don't you just tell him to put him in class? That's a good idea. Why don't you do something besides sit there? Think about it. And I'm praying about it. I'm praying 3 times. Now what you going to do? What's your reaction? Let's call him, see what he says. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's been a day later. I'm breaking protocol. He texted me, but I'm calling him.
Andy, Cortez, how you doing?
What's up, brother?
Good. How you doing today?
I'm good. You going to Burrows this afternoon?
I wish.
Hey, I just want to let you know I got a speaker. I got 2 people that work with me over at the office. Now, they might be the ones that are kind of working with you. You at the bank today?
Well, I'm working from home.
Oh.
Working.
But you say you work in Raleigh. So normally you drive to Raleigh, or normally 9 times out of 10 you work out at home?
Yeah, 9 out of 10 I'm working.
Well, daggone, Bo, that's nice. That's probably
all right.
Yeah, that's very nice. What'd you say you were? Is it First Citizens or which one was it?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I got a crazy question, and then we talk business.
Okay.
Your wife and daughter came in, kissed you, hugged you, and left. I thought they would have joined you, or you'd have joined them. I said, something's going on here.
No, they were actually around the corner at I don't know the name of the spot, but they was eating having a crab boil.
Down like Pregos?
No, I don't like that place, so I end up coming to Prego.
Hey, let me tell you something. I like this guy because that's the way I am. I only get to eat about twice a day. I like to make it good. I don't.
Right.
You know, people say you should eat to live, not live to eat. I struggle with that one.
I'm on the fence as well.
I know. Hey, look. So here's what I'm thinking. We're in Burlington, right here at Pregos. I don't know if you're coming through here, but I'd like you to stop in the office and meet my people and say hello. And you know what I'm thinking is this. Like some people go back and get their MBA degree. They go back and get a knowledge degree because they want to move up in life. And I go, what do you think you want to make extra? And they go, I'm making $106,000. I wish I could get up to $128,000. I go like, so really all you want to make is $22,000 more a year. And they go, well, yeah. I go, well, how about if I show you to make $22,000? You put that on top of your 106, and now you're making. You see what I'm saying? So if you move, sir.
I said, I'm with you.
Yeah, so I was saying, sir, you know what y'all do is just, it is a very, my mother-in-law, it's been 30 years ago, my mother-in-law laughed at me. She said, I'm finally glad you're doing something legit. Now, I got an engineering degree from NC State, but when I decided to get my insurance license where I could move money, she said, you're going legit, because I was always selling cars and boats and, you know, goats and watermelon. I was selling stuff, you know, making money on the side. She said, you're going legit. And I was like, getting an insurance license is legit? That's weird. But she was right, because other people, nobody has an insurance license. Not as many people do, so that puts you in elite service. So when your wife's bringing somebody, you can tell your wife, say, guess what, ma'am? What's your wife's name, Dale?
Danielle.
Danielle, look here now. I'm certified, licensed, got my sticker. I'm like Barney Fife. I got one bullet, and I can use it for whichever friend you want me to use. Tell them to bring their money problems to me, and I can give them some direction. We connected with Mutual Omaha, Transamerica, Nassau Re, Fidelity and Guarantee. We cooked up with all the big companies. And so now the surprising thing for you is it only takes, like you can do it at night. You can get licensed clicking on it. It's a government test.
Okay.
You know, and it only costs you like $49 to get in class, but then they get you for $50 for fingerprints eventually, because they got to run a background check because they don't want criminals. Like, you can't be a felon working in the bank. You can't be a felon moving annuity money. You know what I mean? Right. Or if you embezzle money or what, blah, blah, blah. So they check all the background check, have you on record, and then you have to take a state test. After that, it costs like $100. So all in, you're talking about a couple $100 versus get an MBA where you spend $4,000 or $5,000, and then you start telling everybody, I got an MBA, and nobody seems to care.
Right.
You put in 200 hours, and you spent $10,000, and nobody cares. They don't go like, oh, well, you was worth $106,000, but now you're worth $128,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I was thinking is you just piddle around with it. We're a big party. We're a party waiting to happen. I think Alex came over there and hugged me when I was in there. She's one of their waitresses. She works with us also, so does that. But she started doing this on the side, and but it's just, you know, this is what we do. So I built a business helping people like you just make a little bit of money on the side. Now, if you get crazy and want to do a lot, that's up to you. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. How's that fit with you?
Sounds good so far.
All right, I think I'm going to have Alex call. You know, she knows you. She was like, we were talking about you. We were having dinner the other day, and she said, I know exactly who he is. Comes in all the time, sits at the bar. But I'm gonna have her call you and see if she can get you over here, tell you the class options, and this is my cell. You can call me anytime. I ain't gonna disappear, but you know, I'm like you. I like to try to get some help where I don't have to do everything. You know.
That's right.
All right, and I didn't tell you, I'm married, and my children are in the business too. Well, they live in Raleigh. I mentioned that to you, but they're in their, one's 27, the other one's 30, and they're married. And anyway, just kind of reflecting, telling you a little bit about me too. Where did you tell me you went to school? Up in Chicago? Where was it?
No. No, I went to UNCG here in Greensboro.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
So I was just talking about UNCG. I got 3 of my staff that work in here at UNCG, and my wife went to UNCG.
Okay, cool.
That's cool. All right, brother. Well, look, this is my phone number. Text me back. I'm gonna send your number to Alex, and she'll text you, and blah blah blah. Anything you need, let's just. And by the way, we like to have a good time. So We have some good parties. Our convention center here is where they have concerts. I mean, I'm trying to think who all we've had here, but we've had in Burlington. It's the only convention center in Burlington. It's where our office is. So,
Okay.
you know, the goal is have a little bit of fun, make a little bit of money, all right?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, brother. Any crazy questions? I got to run?
Oh, no. I think everything's pretty straightforward.
Okay, brother. All right. Good to meet you. Holler back at you.
Hey,
All right.
have a good one.
All right, later. All right. No clapping, no.
That's a good 3-4 rule right there. Come on.
So, but Andy, you know, like people, I got this guy. We call that I got a guy syndrome. You know what I mean? Like, I got this guy. You're like, you got a guy? I got a guy too. I'm like, it's a seed. He may ghost her. He might like, I remember that crazy girl. I ain't talking to her. You don't know what people think. Or he might like, Alex, I like her. She always brings me my chicken parm and always gets a little bit of extra martini. You know what I mean? I don't know. By the way, we're getting ready to find out. Yeah. And now she's on the spot, you know, like she said, you remember me? And, you know, oh yeah. And wouldn't that be cool? That would be cool. Wouldn't that just be cool? Good chatting with you. I'm going to connect you to Alex. Come here, Alex, real quick. Come here right here. All right, so then, you see what I'm doing? What I'm doing is, I was good talking to you. I'm going to connect you with Alex. Is it just ALEX? Mm-hmm. All right, so I send him, huh? Yeah, I want you to, well, I'm going to send this number to you. Then you say, why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Well, I want to get a different voice talking to him. And then remembering that she might know him. You with me? You know, and he going to keep coming in there. If she don't do it now, he might do it later. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to send him the number, and I'm going to say, by the way, and by the way, here's something I do too. Now look at this. Dale Whitaker met at Pragos. The reason I put that in there is because I can't remember his name. So I typed in Pragos, and I get up about 37 people because I know every waitress, every waiter, the owners, the people that used to own it. You know, I just sort through. It's like, I believe that's him right there. You know what I'm saying? But then when I send this, when I share the contact, it's not offering to share met at Pragos, but I check it so that you get that additional information also. So I'm sending this to Alex, hoping that she can close the deal. Is that you, 7169?
No.
Which one's you? Well, obviously,
no.
That's okay, because then I can,
okay.
I know it's you. Mary Scholle. How you say it? Scholle. Okay. All right, so you got it now. So just go ahead and text him, and then say, hey, you know, good talk from him again.
Sounds good.
All right, good. So that works. But now, there's no guarantee if I put that number on that 8, but let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to text him back, and I'm going to call him. That's called the odds. That's the extra bet. I put 1,000 down. Now I got a 5,000 on it. See, I had 1,000 bet. Now I'm betting 5,000. Why do you do the odds? Because the casinos pay even odds on the odds, but they don't pay even odds on the first number. Because if they hit the number now on the 5,000, I'm going to get what I should get, which is like $5,500. But on the first 1,000, they're only going to pay me like $800 because they don't pay the full odds. I might be off on my numbers, but you can get you this book called Beating the Tables to Odds. So by putting, you say, well, I don't understand why you're saying you put the odds on him, because now I've got her working on it, and I've called him. So I got a minute of my life invested in this person. 6 minutes of my life invested in that phone call. Not to mention, I had to get my nerves going. Anytime you get your nerves going, that costs money. I don't understand. If you're emotional, you can't move forward. If you're really sad, like depressed people, you have depression, so you're not going to work for 2 weeks. You got to go to the hospital for a month. Okay, that's bad. You win something, you run naked through the streets drunk, and they get a video of you and lock you up for a week. you know, and post your naked picture all on the social media and stuff, and now people, you know what I mean? So it's either way, too happy, too sad, eliminates, see if this, ha! Okay, all right, so the way it works, if this is where you are right here, and you need to want to get here, that's your goal, okay? If this is your goal, the quickest way to get there is like this. Like, you ever seen people that just have no emotion? They just work. They don't get tired. They don't get pressed. They don't happy. They get $1 million. They get up next morning and go to work. I heard of this guy, one of our friends. By the way, anybody wants to believes in prayer, pray for our boy Tom McGill. He's going through some stuff right now. We call him Tom Lotto McGill because he's won the lotto a couple times, lottery. Won a couple $1 million in lottery. Always bets on it, which is how he wins it. You can't win on it not betting on it. I forgot what I was going to tell you about the lottery. Oh, I know what it was. This guy's going through some stuff, but you'll never know it because he gets up and goes to work. He gets up and go to work. He wins the lottery. One of his buddies was in with him and won like, $700,000. And they said, he told his boss, he said, just so you know, I ain't quitting my job. He's not the guy who goes, I got $600,000, quit my job. You know what I mean? It's just boom, 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 boom. So if you can run your life like this, Owen, and by the way, Owen, we don't just do money, we talk about life. If that right there, if that's the gyrations, that's your depression. This is depression down here, and this is happy. This is happiness up here. Okay? If you get too happy, run naked through the streets, too depressed, kill yourself, jump off a bridge, shoot yourself. I always tell people if you're going to kill yourself, I suggest running yourself to death. Just go out there and run until you die. Why you do that? You get out there about 2 miles, you start thinking about that thing. A friend of mine named Cleve McClary, he said, you get out there about 2 miles, you be like, my wife ain't as fat as I thought she was. My boss ain't as mean as I thought he was. I'm going to sit down here and give me a glass of tea or something. You know, you shoot a gun, you think, I wish it's too late. You done gone. Jump out the window on the way down, you try to change your mind, you can't get back up. So I'm not making fun of that suicide because it's a real thing, but I'm just saying, try to think about a prolonged way to do it where you get a chance to think about it because it might work out. But things might change by the time you get there far enough out to die. Does that make sense? I always saw it. One of my friends, he called me the other day. Spencer was with me. Yeah, I'm going, he done bought life insurance. And I said, dude, when did you buy it? He's like, last month it got approved. I said, bro, they don't pay for you. Got to have 2 years before you kill yourself. They ain't going to pay. He said, they ain't going to give me no money for that. I said, no. Now, and here's funny because everybody thinks I'm kidding. I'm serious. And he said, what do you think about killing myself? I said, you ought to wait till tomorrow. Because he was drunk as everything, you know. I said, bro, you wait till tomorrow. And he said, you don't think today's a good day? I said, mm-mm. And whatever day it was, I was like, you know, I pulled up the date. I was like, ain't nobody ever come out ahead. What's today's date? Huh?
September
3rd. Ain't nobody ever in a good day to die. September 3rd, bad day. You know, wait tomorrow, 4th. That's a better day. And, you know, I didn't want to kill myself the next day, but I was just trying to put him off. You know, the next day I texted him. I said, you still alive? He said, yeah. I said, today's not a good day to die either. He's like, I know. He done got straightened out. You with me? Y'all tracking with me? Everybody,
Yes,
don't everybody lose their mind? Anybody quit already? All right. So what happens is, your first appointment you go on, you get no-showed. You get depressed. Second appointment you go on, they pull a gun on you. Next one, people are going to think it's terrible to go selling. You know, but you're just depressed, you know. His guy, first appointment, made a sale, right? That was third appointment. Did he not make them first two? Oh, yeah, wait, get the mic. Get the mic there. What happened?
He got left at the door his first 2 appointments.
Him and Jesus was outside the house.
Cold.
Sitting there, nobody there. Knocking on the door, talking about they said they would be here. Right? Well, what happened, so, you know, the good thing is he went right back up here and went to another appointment. Then as the next appointment, what happened on that one?
Left him at the door again.
Left him at the door again. He got right back on the horse. Mm-hmm. But if you don't fall but this far, it ain't as far to get back on the horse. What if he'd have said, I'm going to go take a Toastmasters course and learn how to speak better? Mm. What if he said, I'm going to read 3 books and get my self-image back up? Right. What if he said, I'm going to wait till Sunday, go to church and pray about it and decide what to do? You see what I'm saying? Instead, he went right back on the horse and went and made a sale. Now, If I'm not at sale, he goes buy him a fur coat. You talking about, you know what I'm saying? Can you see him in a fur coat? I can.
That's wild.
With the hair he's got.
With the
What'd you say?
cornrows?
What kind of the cornrows?
Cornrows.
I said the dress. He said them cornrows. That's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's, I don't know. One of them tighter than the other, right? He get fired up, you know. He get fired up, go buys him a robe, you know, and some sandals, and some gold, get him gold name right here, you know, like for one sale. No, he puts it on credit. You know why? Because he knows the rest of his career is going to be sales like that. I call that too happy. He needs to get his butt right back down here. So what happens is when you go up here too happy, time passes and you come back down here. So what happens is it takes you longer. If you're an engineer, if you can go, we call it as the crow flies. If you can go from here to my house, it's going to take you 12 minutes. But if you have to go by Raw Hut, and then you got to go around the water tower, and then you go around the creek where the bridge is. You can't cross the bridge where there ain't the bridge. You got to go down where the bridge is, and then you go around to my house. You got to go around the lake. It's going to take you 25 minutes to get there. So as the crow flies, you get there quicker. Up high, straight. Does that make sense? So here's what you're trying to do. So do you understand that if you get people that understand this, grab that mic back from him. If they understand this, that if you're going to get more of a stud. You know what I mean? I have a lot of I don't know what you call it. I have a lot of respect for military people that have been through what he's done. But 9 out of 10 of them, 7 out of 10 of them, a high percentage of folks that have been through that, marriages, depression, all this stuff happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy stats.
Suicides.
High rate. If you take 100 people that ain't served in the military, 100 people that active duty, and if they were just stationed somewhere and didn't fight, but if they get into that crazy bird of flight, then the percentages are much higher for suicide. You with me? But if you get somebody that survived it and not somebody that survived it and been through, you know that if he comes out alive, he went back to work. He got shot down. I don't know if he flew a helicopter again.
Oh yeah, got right back in.
Is this helping y'all at all?
Yes,
But
sir.
Andy, now I didn't get into this too much, but warriors know warriors. So the more of a warrior, the more of a people. But some duds know some studs. You with me? So if I have a person who doesn't fit the mold perfectly, like if they're too short or too slow to play basketball, I might say, do you have a cousin or brother or somebody that's 6'9" that can dribble, that's played the game before? And they go, yeah, I got a cousin that's really tall. I think he might be good. Let's get him on the team. You say, what if they get on the team and get more playing time than Shorty over here does? Well, if we win a national championship, he gets a ring. In this business, if he gets somebody better than him, he gets a percentage. So to me, it's just math. To me, it's plain as day. I have vision. I see it. So everybody had at the cabin, if you ranked them, who's likely to be most successful and who's the least likely. But the least likely can become more successful than him. But who's the judge? Well, I'm the judge if I want to decide who I'm going to bet on, who I'm going to invite on a jet, who I'm going to take to my house, who I'm going to eat dinner with, who I'm going to invest in, who I'm going to call, who I'm going to test. I'm going to bet. I'm going to bet on the ones that I judge is here. But like, let's say some of those people are on Riddle's team. And he's like, Andy, I think you're wrong. I think not that guy's going to be the best this one. I said, then you bet on him. Now he's betting on him, and I'm betting on him. Well, then if this one falls off, I told you, now he puts his money on him too. Now you got me and Riddle betting on this guy. Riddle's talking to him, investing time, inviting him to the house, going with him, talking to him about problems. I'm doing it now. I think he's got better chance. Now, some people say, well, I just want to treat them all equal. That'd be like taking your money and put it in businesses that make 40% return and putting in business that lose 40%. At the end of the day, you done broke even. You made 40, you lost 40. You bet on losers, and not losing, if you bet on stocks that don't make it, or people that have never made it, people that got cut and can't play and cheered and scared and all that. So what you're doing is, you're describing to everybody, which I've been trying to do here, what we want. Now, if everybody goes get them, guess what we're going to have our teams? Studs. Winners. People are like, Andy, I've never won anything, and you want me on your team? Okay, great news. You're not tall, and you're not fast, and you can't dribble. But you can talk, and you can text, and you can travel. Go talk to people and try to get some gooder people than you. And then we'll give you credit for finding the gooder people, just like you're good. Because you are good, because you got good people. You're a good coach, because you win it. People say it's easy to win the coach if you got good players. Easy to look like you're a brilliant coach if you got good players. I agree. Got bad players, you're going to get fired because they think you're a bad coach. So what if you change your players? Yep, that's what I say. Either change your players or change your players. I got 2 other little quotes I want to give you that are kind of different. Just like, I like the, where'd that go? Faith is a substance of thing, faithful, fat. Faithful, available. Available means they don't have like both my parents are living at home and I'm kind of hospice. I'm taking care of them and I have to take care of my child. So they're not available, right? Trainable, I want to do it my way. I ain't listening to you. Faithful means they'll take action, right? All right, so faith is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. How about this? Who said this one? This is Ryan's, but it's mine from now on. We offer financial awareness. That's Bob. That's Bob.
No,
King.
Bob.
Bob West.
That's Bob West.
Bob West. Bob West, not Chang. We offer situational awareness for your financial situation. We offer situational awareness for your financial situation. So your situation, we offer financial awareness for your financial situation. Guys already making $106,000. How you make he's making $106,000? Job description, I'm thinking he's between 90 to 105, maybe 106. So I figure 6. I could be wrong. And then I was like, you make extra $28,000, get a master's degree. You see how I did that? I threw a number out there. He could have said, Bo, I make way less than that. Or he could have said, Bo, I make more than that. Or I think I nailed it. We'll see. You with me? And he agreed. Anthony May. Who's friends with Anthony May? Ask him, is he texting me, calling me to tell me I'm running overtime? Or is he not watching my show? You know what I'm saying? This guy's a stud. But he's calling me at 2 o'clock. He might have got fired. That'd be great. Because he works about 80, 90 hours of work. Why do you think they look at me so shockingly? They fire him now. He's a free man. Everybody wants freedom. But it's hard to take freedom. But somebody gives you freedom. Don't get me into going there. All right. So here we go. What's yours? What's your situation?
We take small money, turn it into big money, tax-free.
That's what he said. People say, what do? Take small money, turn it into big money, tax-free. I could have hit Dale with that. I didn't think it'd fit. Of course, I didn't know it either then. I still might. I still like my idea about, my cousin told me. That's what I went with. I got 1 million of them. You just give me something, I give you a reaction. I'm quick on my feet, like a linebacker, swivel. You with me? He said something, I'm ready. They pass the ball, I'm ready. He says this, I got to say that. How'd you do that? I've been practicing, reading books, studying people. And then I could have said, we offer financial awareness for your financial situation. Guys, I hope this is helpful.
Yes, sir.
I wish your days are in the shade and not in the sun, and you get all the happiness you can stand and all them things that country music says. But I got to roll. I'm over time. Thank you. God bless you. Go get this thing.